What's up guys, this is Project and here's a long-awaited Odachi build named Seiryu after our Guardian Spirit and Wind Elemental focus. I rushed to get this out as soon as possible so everything isn't super optimized, but it's pretty good at the moment. I've only unlocked region 4 of demon mode so far, hence the lack of high mission demon footage, but the clip should show you how it is compared to you or other people you've seen play the new DLC content on Way the Strong, so you know how good you did against that content, so it's easier to compare. Likewise, if you see my playthrough, you can see the difference between a quickly put together build, like the one I use in my playthrough, versus a more optimized one like this one. I limited myself to be as close to standard 160 plus 10 weapon as possible, and the average level as possible to compare to most people who play the DLC on strong using OP builds. Starting with our weapon, you're going to want to use the Bloodstained Cleaver as we're a full life living weapon burst build. The full life bonus from this cleaver can be stacked with the other damage stats we use, so we really rack up a lot of damage. Now because of the change in revenant drops, it's much harder to get change to attack and all these at the same time. I pretty much went broke on both gold and mats, so everything isn't perfect, but I did manage to snag change to attack stamina A+. Because of that, I had to pour most of my points into stamina instead of strength, so this isn't the best choice, but if you get change to attack A+ in heart, stamina, or strength, keep it. You're going to want familiarity A or higher, as well as another damage stat, either close combat damage or mid attack damage, as we seldom use skills in living weapon mode. We just kind of spam the quick attack into strong attack. The rest of the stats are your choice. I find key reduction really useful. The wind damage needs to be tested against status augmentation blustered, as I rather apply wind faster than do more damage, but I'm unsure which is better. I'll have to test that out later. The reason we want to apply wind is because of our main set, Daiichi Diamond Daiichi, which with wind applied nets us 43% damage boost from the set alone. While our Guardian Spirit does most of the application on bosses, applying wind to normal mobs is crucial as well in keeping up with more generic damage orientated sets. I could have used a more generic set like Fanatic or something for a critical living weapon build for more damage, but I wanted an excuse to do something neat with the new Dragon Spirit, so this seemed like a perfect time to do that with this set. For the secondary set, I chose Tatenashi for the damage reduction. Warrior of the West nets a smidge more damage, but you lose about 50 toughness and damage reduction, which I don't think is worth it in my opinion. Back to the Cleaver, try your best to find it as it isn't farmable. Doing missions that reward Odachi is a good method outside of farming Odachi wielding revenants. If you can't find it, Kamui is a decent substitute since it has wind element on it, but you lose the 50% damage that the Cleaver has. Our secondary weapon is Ishida's sword for a 5-piece Daiichi. For a ranged weapon, you're going to want A agility on your primary. This bow is nothing special, adds no damage to our Daiichi outside of A agility, so it's really not necessary, but it certainly looks cool. Having a Ritter Urn on the bow is nice too, and lastly, lowering defense is pretty decent against human battles. Then for our secondary ranged weapon, you're going to want Warrior of the West for the damage reduction, and try to copy the stats on my armor and stuff that you've seen before. Then for your charms, you're going to want a Ritter Urn using living weapon on both if you can, then either yokai close combat damage or living weapon attack enhancement on both as well. The more meta, the better, because we're a living weapon build. Moving on to stats, as I mentioned, I stayed relatively lower leveled, only leveled up 10 more levels than from what I was in my playthrough. I've seen people take on the DLC at much higher levels. But these are the stats to aim for. Like I mentioned, whatever change to attack you get on your weapon, pump that stat to 99. Ideally it would be strength though. I'll show what stats to max out for people that are higher than me, or to know what your end goal is when you're playing this build. After your main damage stats are maxed, pump into either body or spirit till you're level 400. With this setup, we surpassed 30.1 weight for the full hidden damage bonus, and with decent toughness stacked with wind elemental debuff, we are pretty tanky. For our spirit, we'll be using the new DLC Guardian Spirit, Blue Dragon, aka Seiryu. This was the inspiration for this build, notably its full life close quarters combat damage bonus at 20%, which is really nice. Those who see my playthrough know I took a liking to living weapon Odachi, so this is why it's a living weapon build. Different in that we use it at full life instead of critical like most living weapon builds out there. It has great stats overall, a great spirit summon, and the wind elemental is an icing on the cake. For secondary spirits, I mainly rotate between Bisha and Aya Kormri. Bishop being the new Centipede DLC spirit. I sometimes splash in Ishida for ki reduction, but Bishop is mainly used against humans because of the Pierce guard, and Aokomi is used for yokai for more extra damage from behind. For clan, I chose Hankatanka purely for damage reduction at full life. 40% chance to half damage is really good, and that's at the baseline. You can get even higher, and the skill damage is pretty nice as well. Here are the magic and ninjutsu you need to obtain, as well as other weapon passives, all in 2 screens. You can pause the video here if you need to get all the skills. Now moving on to skills. Here are our skills. These first 2 right here, Tail Strike and Crashing Waves, are your key damaging skills. This one you have to combo into, which is a hilt thrust like that, and the other you simply guard and press square and you charge forward, doing a lot of key damage. Now I prefer Crashing Waves over Tail Strike because if they guard your attack, you won't be able to combo into Tail Strike. Meanwhile, Crashing Waves, you can just spam this, and if they guard when you use that move, it does a ton of key damage to them, humans anyways. So I prefer Crashing Waves. Then we have these skills. None of these are really, well, besides this draw attack, Imperative Strike. This is a wannabe EI strike, but it's not that powerful, but it's pretty nice for sneaking up on stuff. It's decent. The rest of these skills aren't really that worth it. This one is nice right here, Moonlit Snow. This is your main, this is the best skill that Odachi has, and it's really slow. It's powerful, but it's pretty slow, and the key damage doesn't seem to be too great, considering all that motion and power and stuff like that. Basically, you have to hold down triangle while you do those moves, and you'll be able to get the full power out of them. But even then, it's pretty slow. I don't take Passage to Afterlife because I never grapple. Final blows are way better, so these other skills suck. I don't prefer them. Subtle Blade is nice as it increases key damage to enemies that are attacking you, so if they're attacking you and you hit them, you'll do more key damage. This is why I like Crashing Wave, because generally they're either attacking you or they're blocking, and it does good to both. So then we have Twin Moons, which is a high stance skill, which does 2 slashes. I like this move, but it's only really good against yokai. The range is just short for some reason. Despite Odachi's length, the range of that move is terrible. They tend to get out of the way. Sword of Severance I like, obviously. Human damage, Twin Moons. Now these skills right here are good and bad. They're good for people who like to do fancy stuff with the game, combat wise, with skills, as these are all extra combo attacks from one stance into another. The problem is the game wastes, or not the game, but they, Team Ninja, Koei, whatever, they wasted 6 or 7 skill slots on these little combo moves, which just one attack into another stance. Now you can combo into a full circle, I think, or just down the line, like high stance, mid stance, low stance, but I don't even think you can go into a full circle. But anyways, all these skills are wasted on just one attack, and Spear Stance Change does pretty much the same thing in one skill. So I honestly don't like these skills. They're good for comboing, but they don't really make Odachi a OP weapon. That's the thing with Odachi. As you can see here, Spear Stance Change, it does pretty much the same thing. You switch stances, you do an attack, but you also Ki Pulse, getting you Ki back, and you can do that infinitely. Meanwhile, these have a limit. You can only do it like one time into another one. We have Cuckoo's Call, which is, it's alright. It's like the axe parry. It's pretty bad. You just block and then hit. It's not really a parry. Then we have Tiger's Blade. I like this move. This move is really good at getting familiarity up, as it does multiple hits on the way down, but it is not like the Spear's Volt Over, as you are vulnerable, or more vulnerable anyways than Spear. The Volt Over, I forgot what the thing's called, Monkey or something like that. Flying Monkey. And then the rest of the points that you don't waste into skill points, you dump into Melee Mastery for more damage. For this segment, I'll be showing you Blue Dragon's unique Guardian Spirit power, where when you summon it, it will remain out with you for 5 seconds. Within those 5 seconds, if an enemy attacks you, it will try to interrupt their attack hitting them, and in most cases applying the wind debuff right away, aka Blustered, to activate Daiichi 5-piece, as well as lower enemy attack. And finally, my last segment is about combos using Odachi that I've found out that are useful. So here's regular Moonlit Snow, and here's what I do. You fully charge Moonlit Snow, and then you go into Imperative Strike Key Pulse right away. I really like that one. You can also do this mid stance with strong attack, and then quick attack, and then into Twin Moons and high stance. So again, strong attack, quick attack, and then Twin Moons, and then you can also Imperative Strike at the end there. And you can go to low stance where you just spam quick attack and then go into mid stance by pressing a strong attack. And for this one, I like this one a lot. This is the dodge move, where you dodge backwards and then go into Twin Moon. So you use a strong attack, dodge backwards, press square, and then Twin Moons, strong attack, and then Imperative Strike if you have enough ki left over. And that is it for my first Odachi build. I plan to make more, as I think there can be more powerful setups than this. This was just something that seemed fresh regarding the set and the new spirit that I wanted to play with, but it's pretty nice defensively, as I haven't died from what I played of demon mode so far. So give it a try if you want to use the new dragon spirit. It's probably the best use of it that I can think of, but there is more powerful Odachi builds coming your way from me. I also plan to splurge into the new Kunai Storm build next. I've seen the OP-ness, I might as well get it on action before any nerfs, if any. But that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was a long one, but I want to explain things more considering it's a new weapon. If you liked the video, smash that like button, comment down below with any questions, and subscribe for more Nioh epicness.